Welcome to assignment number 9. I hope you enjoyed assignment number 8. We got a lot of new submissions and a lot of new members, so this is really awesome. I like where this is progressing. People are just getting better. And again, I just want to remind people that don't be shy to post. Although I know it's Facebook and it can be damaging in certain groups and you don't feel skilled enough, like don't be scared to post. We give CC, but I'm very monitored on CC. So if I see something that is extremely critical or non-polite, I'll make sure to remove it on the Facebook group. So don't be shy to post, ask questions, or do anything. We're here to help and we're here to contribute. I have lots of resources and lots of people that can help me actually improve your photography. So the goal is to participate, to post as much as possible. If you have to ask questions on the group, or if you post a photo and then somebody else will see it, maybe it'll help that person also improve. So never be shy to post. Just make sure you post your technical information so we can know if there's any mistakes that they could be fixed and how we would approach the situation differently. So again, don't be scared to post. We're all here to learn. Even I am still learning right now, so don't be scared, don't be shy. It's not one of these groups in Facebook that are very critical. This is just to really just help you practice more photography and actually more setups. We're really digging in deeper into the portrait game. So we're gonna push you towards a new genre of portraits that I appreciate it, and then we probably practice a little bit back in assignment 6. We're gonna do some low-key portraits. What are low-key portraits? Low-key portraits are portraits that are made to be very dim or very dark. So they're not really bright photos outside, they're in a white background. They're really dark photos with a dark background, like this one. Really made to be dramatic in essence. So these low-key portraits, also called in Italian chiaroscuro. Typically these are done in either black and white with very strong colors. So it's a very tonal colors. Let's say like a deep brown or a deep something very dark. Or they're done in a black and white format, which is, I think, the method that most people should use: the black and white portraits, or the chiaroscuro, or the low-key portraits. This method was popularized by an Italian painter that inspired Rembrandt and Leonardo da Vinci to pursue their arts. This method of painting or lighting was used by Italian painter. It was popularized by one Italian painter called Caravaggio. Is an Italian painter that inspired Rembrandt and Leonardo da Vinci to paint the same way. So it's very influential in the world. I recorded some behind the scenes, so I'm probably going to post a very short video on it, on how to do a low-key portrait. Really, there are 5 things that you have to look out for. The first one is find a place where you can control the light as much as possible. So the goal is not really to have a very bright portrait. If you're standing in the sun, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to get it done. There's ways to do it, which I will detail further. Let's say you are in a house, or a studio like this one. You could isolate your subject, close the lights, and only use your strobe as the main source of light. So really there's no ambient light, there's only the source of light that is coming from the light direct. The second suggestion I would have for you is kill your ambient light. How do you kill your ambient light? Well, the easiest way would be to, like the first one is, will be in a controlled place. But let's say you're standing outside and you want to do a very dark portrait. You would have to either bump your shutter speed to a very high level, so let's say 250 or 8000, whatever is the situation, or aperture as high as you can. Aperture will also dim the lights and also make sure the ISO is pretty low. So we're talking about like 100 and less. What I will do is I will decrease the ambient light, and then the only source of light that will illuminate your subject will be your flash, speed light, or a strobe. So the third option that you would have is to control your light spills using flags or also using a grid. So what is a grid? I'll show you in a minute. Here you have a beauty dish. The beauty dish are known to be very wide or very projectile-ish source of light. So what it does, it bounces on the reflector inside. So your light goes here. The light bounces in this dish, so in this part of the light. This dish is actually movable or removable, and then it actually bounces back there and projects all over the place. So which creates a big spill if you want. By using a grid, what you do is that you can probably see here, by the way the light reflects, the grid will narrow down the beams of light in order to make it more focused. So there are different degrees of grid. There's 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. If I recall correctly, this is a 20-degree grid, which will reduce your angle of light to 20 degrees. Another way to control your light also, if you don't want spills everywhere, is to use flags. What are flags? It sounds very complicated, but in reality it's like dead simple. Is to have an object, let's say usually you use a black foam core, in order to block light from hitting something. So let's say you have a light that's plus everywhere, you just put a piece of something, consider my hand, let's say a flag, you would put it there and then you see less light on my face. That is all a flag is. It's not more complicated than this. It's a very simple technique that most people forget, even I do sometimes, to use in order to control your light and control your light spill. If you want to be a control freak, this is the way to go. And also this will teach you how to control your light beam. Always look for the most control that you can get, especially when you want to do a low-key portrait. You don't want to illuminate a scene, you want to illuminate a subject. So it's a very focused type of light. So make sure that you think about that whenever you're doing your portrait. So again, grid. This is a 20-degree grid, if I recall correctly, and use flags in order to block the light. Also, the last element in order to get a low-key portrait that is actually worth calling a low-key portrait is to use a dark background. What to do? This is just a single piece of foam core that you got at Home Depot for like $10. You can use, if you're really on the budget, you can go get a cardboard, which I did before. I'll show you behind the scenes right now of the cardboard, or just a piece of paper, like of construction paper that you it's $1.50, I think. Just staple it in there, stick it on the wall, take your portrait, and if you need more space, you can actually crop back pieces of the board that you just bought. So really that simple. Anything can work. You can use fabric too. You can go to Walmart, get a $6 or $10 piece of fabric that is black, cover it, just make sure it doesn't reflect that much light. And there you have it, you have a dark background. For those who are more advanced and you want to go a bit fancier, there's another method. It's called cinefoil. I'll show you what it is in a second. So cinefoil is actually this little thing. It's a piece of aluminum, I believe, that is very dark and it just really blocks the light. There's no light coming out of this if you place it in a certain way. What typically people do is that they actually cut it and then they place it in the way that they want. So let's say you want to have dramatic angles, you want to block light coming from this eye and just hit one eye. This is super easy to do. You just really put it there and then your light will be shaped by this object. These are pretty expensive usually. They're about $50 to $60. I'll post a link below if you want a recommended brand, but usually this is pretty standard. You can get it at any camera store or on Amazon if you want to. And I'll post a link below. This will help me produce more videos. So if you're interested in getting the gear that you need, I'll post everything that I just said below. So again, these techniques will help you create very dramatic and very moody shots. I love doing chiaroscuro because one, it really teaches you how to control your light. Let's say using a super wide and super large modifier is fun because you can just put light everywhere and then you don't have to think much about it. But if you want to learn how light behaves, this is the way to go. This is the best assignment for you because this will push you to understand. It's frustrating. I'm telling you now, this is not the easiest assignment because again, shooting, thinking, and living in that type of darkness will push you to understand and how to control your light. So you'll use flags, you'll use grids, you'll use equipment to their maximum limits. So just a reminder that Sundays are fun days. So post any photo that you recently shot and you want to share. So this assignment is open for the entire month of February, and that's also to be shot in the month of February. This is very important. We don't want old shots or anything you've done before. We don't really care. What we want to see are shots that you've done today. Again, this assignment is challenging, and approach it, post your mistakes, post your errors, and then give us some data so we can help you get some feedback. I'll be also posting in the description below some links to some of the gear that you might need in order to get this done. This will help you get it done if you need it. If you don't need it, then don't buy anything. But just know that I get a small commission for every Amazon purchase you will make using this link. So this will help me also produce more content for you guys. That's it, folks. 3 things. Just make sure you join the Facebook group if you haven't already. And there are 3 ways you can be notified about the group. Is you can either subscribe to this YouTube channel so we can actually stay in touch. Also join the Facebook group. The assignment of the month will be posted in the banner of the group, so in the little picture that will be on top of the group. And also the pin post of the group will be the current assignment. But the best way again is be subscribed so you can be notified. Just click on that little clock bell thing that's on YouTube so you can actually be notified whenever a new assignment is posted and you can get all the details. That's it, folks. So again, leave a like and subscribe if you like this video, and then I'll see you in the next assignment. Cheers and good luck and happy shooting.